Hey everybody, ready for today's exercise? Medial delt raise, or some people call it lateral shoulder raises. But before we start, well, it's not like you're going anywhere, so maybe you can listen for a second. I had a lot of people reaching out asking me what M.U.S.T training stood for. Well, before I go into that, I have to explain what the motor units are. Now, motor units in your body are all through your body, and their job and the objective of motor units is that when your muscle feels tension or your muscle needs to contract or needs some power to it, the brain and the body talk, and the brain recruits motor units from all over and puts it into the muscle so the muscle can contract. The muscle gets a little bit of strength and can start to contract. The problem is with 99.99999% of training out there, the motor units are just randomly dispersed, because you feel tension wherever, the way you grip, this, that, blah, blah. So the motor units are not focused into the muscle that you want to work. They're just sort of distributed all over the place. So now that you know what motor units, basically what they basically do, we can go way into it, but on the basis that's what they do. So M.U.S.T training stands for Motor Unit Stimulation Technique. Now I know stimulation is kind of a mashup of two words. It's stimulate and utilize. So what we do is we stimulate the brain to send motor units, but then we utilize the motor units that would go all over the place and push them into the target muscle. So how is that done? Well, again, big explanation of it, but what it is I found a way to move your body, position your hands, position your shoulders, position all your body around different ways that the brain has no choice but to send the motor units into the target muscle. Because you take away everything else. You take away the tension. Motor units are dispersed by tension. When the brain feels tension, it sends a motor unit there. So you got to take away the tension everywhere except for the muscle being targeted. Now other muscles are going to kick in, obviously, once in a while, but they kick in to such a minor degree that the motor units go in there, but all those motor units that would have been dispersed all over get slammed into the muscle where you want. And what happens when that happens is you build muscle faster. It's more functional muscle, it's better muscle, it's healthier muscle. Everything around that muscle is better. You have better range of motion, you got better strength, and everything. It just works, okay? So this isn't something I sat on the toilet one night and went, oh wow, hey, what's going on? This was years and years and years of playing around, finding different ways to do it. Now I know we're all stuck in our little places, so I'm using bands. Some of you are lucky, you have weights. I don't. But luckily for me, I've been training with these things for years, trying to do everything I did with the weights, with the M.U.S.T training, and incorporate it into the bands. So, having said that, we're going to do side lateral raises using the M.U.S.T training technique. So, what we need to do is first, when you're on it, some people like, let me get back a little bit so you can see the band hold. If it's too much, if you can't cross the band, and cross out like that, if it's too much, that's no problem. You just go off the side. Me, I like to cross it. Again, if it's too much, you got 2 feet in there, just put 1 foot in, slide the other foot right beside it, okay? So, but coming up on the movement, I'm going to get the camera angle here. So again, the grip is so important, Just, you'll notice I'm only holding on with 3 fingertips. That's it. That's all you need to grip anything. That's it. What you're doing by then is using the M.U.S.T training, and you're taking all the pressure out of the forearm, you're taking pressure out of the bicep, you're putting in pressure, and what we want to do is we want to just put it on the medial delt. That's it, mate. Just that little sliver right there. That's all we want. We don't want the traps. We don't want the back to come into play. We don't, the old traditional of throwing up like this and just rocking away. So we don't want to do that. We just want to isolate that one muscle. We want to do it while keeping posture, because the old way of doing it, going like this, you see you ever walk around with this big hump shoulders like that and walking around like this. Well, that's why. And you're throwing everything with the front. You want to have functional muscle, you still want posture, and hell, let's call it what it is. The bullshit stops when the shirt comes off. Okay? I love that saying. The bullshit stops when the shirt comes off. So, what we're going to do is side row. So you always want to make sure that when you pull the band, God, I gotta go back here, way back here again, Remember, this is all raw video stuff, guys. This isn't polished stuff. This is just whipping the camera on and giving it a shot for you guys. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for letting me come into your homes and do this. We're all in this together. I just want to give you some tips and help you along the way here a little bit. So Again, whenever you're doing band work, whenever you're doing side band work, you want to pull up the band just to adjust. If it's too tight, I want to just step over a little bit until you get nice and even, okay? So once you have the band even, and the band's just in the middle, again, so you sit back, you roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, so I know it sounds funny, you take your shoulder out of a shoulder workout, but you want to take all the traps out of it, you want to take your rhomboids out of it, you want to take your back out of it, so you just sort of roll down and relax the shoulder. Again, you're only losing just a little bit of grip. To execute the movement, as you breathe in, your lungs will start to expand. Now as you expand your lungs, you'll feel like your shoulder is being pushed out. And what you want to do on that side of it, you just want to open up like a gate. Like a little thing. So you want to take it and just roll it up. You don't want to throw up with the arm. You want to take all the arm out. It's not an arm exercise. So you breathe in and just slow up. And just hold out to the side for a second. And your head's nice and straight. Your back is nice. Your shoulders aren't hunched up or anything. Just like that. And then you let that medial deltus take it down. And you reset again at the bottom. And the reset's very important because what it does is it keeps that posture, focuses, tells the brain what's going on, and sort of breathe in and start moving. And slowly take the arm out of it, take the arm out, and now you're just holding on with fingertips. That's it. And you up to the top, and just sit there for a second. Yeah, and bring it down slow. And you reset again. Now this next one, I'm going to show you a little trick at the top. Gets you a little bit more if you want a little bit more. So squeeze up. So you get, again, with the breath, and you're just letting that shoulder, just the side of the shoulder, just roll the arm up. Now when you get to the top of this movement, just drop your wrists and hold for a second. What that does is it takes all the form, takes everything out, and makes that medial delt hang onto the pressure. Then bring your wrist back up again, and back down, and reset again. And again, just roll your shoulders back, roll your back down, head's nice and straight, and squeeze, breathe in, and have the breath start the movement. And just that side delt, that's it, that's that side delt. Get to the top, drop your wrists, hold for a second, bring your wrist straight, and let it come down again. And just, do 10 reps, 12 reps, whatever you want to do. Anyways, again, thanks for letting me into your homes to do this. We'll keep coming up with different ones. If there's any body part or exercise that you want to sit, just send a comment or something. And